What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. NFL DFS video. It is Week 12 rankings video. It's been a minute since we've had a video for rankings. I wanted to bring this to your attention. These are on the website every single week. If we don't have a video, go check that out. But I wanted to bring you a video because we've got some time. We've got a unique slate. So we've got 3 games on Thursday for Thanksgiving. We've got 1 game on Friday. We've got the games for Sunday, and then we've got Monday Night Football. So we have a ton of information. We have a ton of games, ton of different slates that we can look at. I wanted to bring you overall Week 12 rankings. Now, these will update. Normally, Sunday mornings, we update these, and we usually take out the Thursday night game. But again, we're going to have to take out 4 games, 3 Thursday, 1 Friday, for Sunday. So and we have time to do this because this week we don't have PGA, we don't have MMA. So we have NBA and NFL to contend with, along with obviously a Thanksgiving, so a vacation type thing. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. I wanted to get this out to you. This is being recorded Tuesday afternoon. Things might change a little bit, so that is definitely something to pay attention to. But we are going to get right into it after we talk about how to win. So, as you know, if you've been here before, anytime a video gets at least 50 likes, you leave a comment, you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. Anytime a video gets at least 100 likes, leave a comment, you are a YouTube subscriber, you have a chance to win a monthly pass, which is normally $24.99, which does include sports betting. Anytime you have a video that gets at least 125 likes, you have a chance to win a free year pass, normally $199. And anytime any of our videos get at least 150 likes, you leave us any comment on the video, so the comment picker can pick you up, and you are a YouTube subscriber, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass, normally $499, all for leaving a like. So any like helps, guys. Clicking on the ads on the videos, I know they're annoying, but if you click on them, that definitely helps us out. That helps the channel grow so we can bring you more content, get brand deals, get ad revenue so that I can pump it back into the website, because it's only me right now. We have one helper for NBA lineups, but that's it. I do everything else. I do MMA, PGA, NFL, MLB. It's all me. So I wanted to get out in front of you. If you've never been here before, welcome. If you've never been here before and you like the videos, but you think maybe they need a little bit something else, let me know what you think the videos need. Like, what are you looking for in these videos? What are you looking for in everything we have? So if you've never checked out, we have a ton of NFL content. The NFL Volume Report, it breaks it down by position. You can check that out. Fantasy Football Snaps. We've got projected ownerships. We've got player projections. We've got our points allowed. We've got Vegas, cheat sheet, bacon station, chalk, prop bets. We have it all. So if you've never been here before, go check out the website. A lot of free content. We do have FTA Plus as well. And we are going to be doing a Black Friday deal. And I will hint, that will be on the Wednesday basketball video. We have a full slate for basketball. So depending on when you watch this video, that video might already be out for NBA. And we're going to have a Black Friday deal. So if you have any questions, get those down below. We're going to have another... we're going to have a contest. This is the contest. Like the video, be a subscriber, and tell me which quarterback you think is going to score the most amount of DraftKings fantasy points in Week 12, and throw out a number. It'll be whoever's closest without going over, if it's a tie. And the winner of that will receive a free week of DFS content. So next week, the winner will receive a week of NFL, which includes NBA, MMA, and PGA as well. So we're going to go over about the top 5 players at each position. Then we can look at DraftKings just to see where they look at. Obviously, we have all of the quarterbacks. We have, I think, like 90-plus running backs on there, 100-plus wide receivers on there. We're giving you the top 5 at each position. If you want to see the rest, check it out. And again, they will update Sunday morning after the 4 games have already been played on Thursday and Friday. So that being said, just jumping right into the rankings, I'm going back to the well with Josh Allen and the Bills as they're going to go face Philly. I love this matchup for them. I know Philly shut down the Chiefs Monday Night Football second half. So the Chiefs put up 17 on Philly first half, came out, didn't score another point. Now, again, the Chiefs wide receivers and secondary outside of their wide receiver core, and they're not the best outside of the pass catching, outside of really Kelsey and then Pacheco. And it's like Kelsey, Pacheco, Mahomes. They don't have much going on. We've got more going on with the Bills offense. We've got Stephon Diggs when he's not crying. We have Gabe Davis when he's not getting shut down. We have Josh Allen who can run. They've got James Cook. They have other options as well. So that being said, I do have him number 1 right now. Going up at Philly. We've got number 2 is Jalen Hurts versus Buffalo. So 1-2. I think it's going to be a great matchup there. And if we look at the Vegas odds, it's got a 47.5 over-under, and the Eagles are actually 3.5 point favorites. So if they are playing from behind, I do love Josh Allen here. Number 3 is Patrick Mahomes. He's got to do a little bit more with the pass. He's got to do a little bit more maybe with his feet against Vegas, but I think he's got a good option here. We got Lamar Jackson versus the Chargers. Chargers defense is absolutely terrible. If you go look at this and you go look at the teams that have given up the most, Chargers give up the second most amount of fantasy points, or if DraftKings, whichever website you play on, you can come through here. Chargers give up the most amount of fantasy points to the opposing quarterback. They're tied with Washington on DraftKings. Bucks are second. Philly is third. They're giving up an average of 21.5 fantasy points to the opposing. So you can see they've been pretty bad. And then you can see Buffalo Bills actually been pretty good against the quarterback. Not so good against the running back. So these are just different tools for you. This fantasy points allowed by position, completely free. It's one of our tools. Vegas odds, obviously completely free, amongst other things on the website. And then number 5 is Dak. So Dak on Thanksgiving, depending on when you watch us, we have a nice 3-game slate. It's going to be an all-day affair for Thanksgiving. So we've got that there. And those are the top 5. So if you jump into it, and we can look. So this is Thursday game. We can just look. Let's look at Buffalo real quick. So we've got Josh Allen, his game log, obviously coming off a really good game there. A little bit down game against Denver. They weren't playing the best. He did have 2 interceptions. The thing is, Josh Allen has given up let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks straight of at least 1 interception. Week 4, he did not. Week 2, he did not. Week 1 against the Jets, he had 3 interceptions. So as you can see, he is turning the ball over a little bit. But again, he still has 23.5 in that game, threw for 275. Denver didn't have a really good game, threw for 258 against Cincy, 324 against Tampa Bay. Going up against Philly, have not faced them this year. Looking at this, matchup-wise, we kind of look at this. Philly's defense so far, given up an average of about 248.1 passing yards average per game, which ranks 27th overall. They're really good against the run, and total overall 324. They rank 14th in the middle. So if they're playing from behind, I absolutely love Josh Allen here. Then the flip side of that, we've got Jalen Hurts. He is the most expensive quarterback here on the slate. Game log, a little bit down against Kansas City. Did have 1 interception. But against Dallas, their defense is really good. He had 25.88 fantasy points. Against Washington, they were really bad, 31.36. So looking at this matchup, Buffalo is a little bit, they're better. They're ranked 10th out of 32 against the opposing quarterback. But I still like Jalen Hurts here, especially in a high-octane offense here. A.J. Brown's got to get back going. Didn't really have anything going against the Chiefs. They had Devonta Smith. They have the run game. Jalen Hurts also gets rushing touchdowns as well. Had 2 last on Monday Night Football. Has had back-to-back games with it. Has had 1 game without it, and that was against Washington. And he scored a ton with his feet as well. They got the brotherly shove as well. So do have Jalen Hurts there at number 2. Number 3 is Patrick Mahomes. Again, this is going to be very contingent on what we're going to get out of him. He's $100 more than Josh Allen. It's been down a little bit for him. 17 fantasy points against Philly, 16 against Miami, 8 against Denver, which should have been a good matchup because he just had that same matchup 2 weeks prior and dominated. The Chargers defense was very bad. So if you look at this, Patrick Mahomes, the Raiders give up, where are they at? Raiders give up, they're ranked 10th overall, only giving up an average of 15.7 fantasy points per game to quarterback. But again, that's not taking into effect that Patrick Mahomes can run. He can shovel pass to make it a pass to his running backs and get those points there. He's got, obviously has the safety blanket of Travis Kelce. He can dump off a pass 10 yards. Kelce can take it downfield. So all of these factors, while they didn't really come to fruition in Monday Night Football against Eagles, I do like Patrick Mahomes as number 3 here. Number 4 is Lamar Jackson. Does it with his arm, does it with his legs. Obviously doesn't have his safety blanket of Mark Andrews, but we dig in a little bit and we look at what Lamar Jackson has been able to do. He's got a fantastic matchup here, going up against the tied for the worst defense against the quarterback in the Chargers. Couple that with him going up against the Chargers, who give up 24.3 fantasy points per game to the opposing running back. Him being a runner as well, I love that. On top of that, not only are the Chargers dead last, or tied for last, giving up the most amount of fantasy points to the quarterback position, they give up the second most amount of fantasy points to the wide receiver position. A stack of, I think people are going to be on Hurts, they're going to be on Allen, they're going to be on Mahomes. Lamar Jackson has a fantastic, look at this. The Chargers are second worst, or tied for last against quarterback, 24th out of 32 against the running back, second to last against the opposing wide receiver, and second to last against the tight end. Overall, the Chargers secondary, absolute trash. Garbage. I am looking at a sneaky, I don't know how sneaky it'll be, but I think other people will be on the other ones. I'm looking at Lamar Jackson as a, I want to say cheaper option, but you look at this, he's 8,000. He's, they're all right there. He's 4th on the list. He has a fantastic matchup. A Lamar Jackson, a Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, maybe. I don't know if I want to go that way. You could look at the running back if you want. I think a Baltimore stack could be a little bit sneakier stack than people might be letting on. That's why I've got him at number 4. And then number 5 is Dak. People thought he would be down his last game. Game log wise, it was down compared to against the Giants. But they didn't need, this is the problem. They didn't need to do much against Carolina because they were up. So he only threw for 189. Against the Giants, he threw for 404. Against Philly, 374. Against the Rams, 304. And you look at this right here. You've got Vegas odds. You've got this game going. Dallas is 11-point favorite. 48.5 over-under, which is tied for the highest over-under of the entire week. We've got a very bad secondary in Washington. I absolutely like that. Love Dak. Dak is in my top 5. CeeDee Lamb is my number 1 wide receiver this week. I absolutely love that stack there. Dak to CeeDee has been unbelievable lately. We look at this. They have not played Washington this year. Washington is giving up, again, they're tied for the dead last position against quarterbacks. They are third to last. They're ranked 30th out of 32 against the opposing wide receivers and 15th against the tight end. I absolutely love Dak to CeeDee Lamb to Jake Ferguson as a stack there. You could bring it back, and that's if you're playing like a Thursday. It's going to be a very popular one because it's Thursday only slate where, they've got 3 games. I love that one here. I'm definitely looking at Dak as my number 1 quarterback on this Monday slate or Thursday slate. He ranks number 5. I wouldn't be surprised if he does better than that. It's a weird slate because you kind of got to take into effect a full slate of Sunday, Monday, and then we've got Thursday. So those are the top 5 quarterbacks. You can look at it. You can let me know what you thought. But again, down below, overall, on the entire week, what quarterback, and this question of the day, this is to win a free week of DFS content. On top of chance to win a free week, a month, year, or even a lifetime pass for the likes on the video, tell me what quarterback is going to score the most amount of fantasy points on the entire week on DraftKings, and how many fantasy points are they going to put up. The fantasy points is only a tiebreaker. If you don't put fantasy points, you're disqualified. So it's simple, super easy. Just be a subscriber to the YouTube page. So that is the quarterback. We'll get rid of the quarterback. We'll check out the running back here. We got McCaffrey, number one. I don't think that's going to be a surprise. We've got him going up against Seattle. We've got ETN going up against Houston. We've got Kamara against Atlanta. We've got Eckler going up against Baltimore. And we've got Jahmyr Gibbs Thursday going up against Green Bay. So, looking at this running back situation. Just kind of looking. We've got questions. We've got people who have had questions about this. We've got, so the number one for this week, Eckler, he is playing on Thursday night football, or yeah, technically it's Thursday night football against Seattle. We've got him going there. He's 8,700. He is 1,900 more than Jahmyr Gibbs. He's in a great spot. He's going up against Seattle, who overall they rank 28th. If you go through here and you look against the running back situation, you've got Seahawks giving up an average of 24.7 fantasy points per game to the opposing running back. McCaffrey is obviously not your average running back. We've got him in there. We know what he's capable of. We look at his numbers here. Coming in, he had 21.3 against Tampa Bay. He had 20.2 against Jacksonville. He had 29.8 against Cincy. He had 23.6 against Minnesota. Having them not have played Seattle yet, they haven't seen him this year, but they know what he's capable of. I don't think I need to do much explaining as to why McCaffrey is number one pretty much every single week as long as he's healthy. Number two is ETN Jr. So we look at ETN. What are we going to get out of him? He's going up against Houston. We look at that. Houston overall, where are they at? Am I not seeing it? There. Houston. They rank 16th against the running back situation. 21.3 fantasy points per game on DraftKings. So you look at this, we see what we're getting out of him. Game log wise, couple of, down weeks in a row against Tennessee and San Francisco. San Francisco's defense is good. Tennessee overall is actually better than Houston. Tennessee's only given up an average of 19.1. So they were able actually to hold them down a little bit, which is completely fine. I think that might be weary of people there. But then you can see 25.9, 22.7, 23.3, 39.4. He had really good games before those two stinkers. We look at this matchup. Their rushing defense, Houston, 96.5 rushing yards per game. But again, it's ETN's team. If he could get 96.5, or on DraftKings, if he could hit that 100-yard tier and get those extra points, I absolutely love that there. I think he will go under-owned this week, coming in at number two. Number three is Kamara. I don't think it's a surprise. I mean, he's the most expensive running back on the Sunday-Monday slate. Game log, 18.5. He's catching, his targets are crazy. 7, 5, 5, and he had 14 against Jacksonville. Now he's going up against Atlanta. Matchup-wise, Atlanta gives up an average of 108 yards on the ground. That doesn't even include the passes that he could take. So I love Kamara here. Again, he is expensive. He's 8,400. Overall, Atlanta's defense is ranked 3rd out of 32. Against the run, they are worse. Against the pass, they're worse as well. So Kamara has both of those. The only problem is he can get vultured. Taysom Hill loves to vulture. That's the only problem. If you don't want to pay up 8,400, you want to pay up, you want to pay down a little bit. You've got Austin Eckler at 8,300. That could be a little bit financially better. And we've got him at number 4. And then number 5 is Jahmyr Gibbs. It looks like the tides have turned in Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs is that dude. David Montgomery is not that dude. So we look at that. Game logs. Even with Montgomery back here, he's at 20-plus fantasy points. He dropped down to 6,800 for some reason. For whatever reason, I don't know. Obviously, 4 weeks in a row, he didn't look too good. People who drafted him early weren't happy, but it looks like it's his time to shine. The problem is, he only had 8 attempts last week on Sunday against Chicago, only 36 yards, but did have a touchdown. But he had 6 receptions on 6 targets for 59 yards. That's what made up for 21.5. But as you can see, even with him back, had 14. Time before that, when it was just his team, 26 attempts for 152. I absolutely love him here. Going up against Green Bay, their rush defense ranks 28 out of 32, 134.7 yards per game on the ground. So we look at that against the running back. Green Bay has given up an average of 23.4 fantasy points per game on DraftKings this year. I've got Jahmyr Gibbs here. I would not be surprised if Jahmyr Gibbs has more fantasy points than the 4 people above him. Plus his price under $7,000, I absolutely love that. The problem, it's on Thursday. So if you're playing a Thursday-only slate, it works out, especially since McCaffrey is on there. So Thursday, if people, like I said, 1,900 difference, there's a lot to change there. Or you could get both of them in there and find a sneaky stack with some players that people under-own players. Again, we'll find out. Let's see if he feasts on Thanksgiving Day. That moves us to the wide receiver position. I told you I absolutely love a Dak stack with CD, and that doesn't change. He's our number 1 wide receiver on the week. Got him number 1. We've got Amon-Ra St. Brown number 2. Both of those guys playing on Thursday. We've got Stephon Diggs at Philly. We've got A.J. Brown in that same matchup at number 4. And number 5 is Tyreek Hill. This one might change a little bit. Again, his hand problem. He did come out and say that it shouldn't be a problem. The only thing he's sad about is playing Fortnite. I don't know. He is 9,500 game log wise. He still, this is the thing. He caught 10 balls on 11 targets for 146 yards with a bummed hand. He came back, he played. We know that. Longest was a 38-yard. I believe it was touchdown 2 on that. I can't remember if it was or not. 33.6 fantasy points there. Was his best week since week 5 against the Giants. Terrible defense. He is expensive. He doesn't have the best of matchup against the Jets. That is true. But he just had a good game against Vegas, so that is definitely something to monitor. We saw what the Bills were able to do against the Jets defense. Miami's a better team than the Bills. The Bills looked bad. Overall, Josh Allen has turned the ball over a lot. So I do love Tua. I do love Tyreek Hill here. The problem is the running back situation. We don't know. A chain is he done again? I mean, he re-hurt himself. Yeah. So whatever. If their run game is down a little bit because a lot of people got hurt, other than Mostert, they might lean on Tyreek Hill. So I do have him at number 5 there. So you just look at this wide receiver rank. You can see Eagles. They are the worst against the wide receiver. They give up an average of 47.3 fantasy points per game against them. That brings us to this matchup with the running backs. Stephon Diggs has the best matchup here. You got Gabe Davis, who really hasn't done much, but I don't mind a Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis stack here. I really don't. And then you could even look at like a Dalton Kincaid to make a full Buffalo stack there. So those are the top 5. They're in great spots here. We've got CeeDee Lamb, who's number 1. I love CeeDee Lamb in this situation. Seems like Dallas always feasts on Thursday or on Thanksgiving. A little down here against Carolina, but they were up so big there wasn't a need to target him. Against the Giants, 11 for 14. Against Philly, 11 for 16. Against the Rams, 12 for 14. Put up 44, 32, 42. Ever since he was called out for not being a wide receiver 1, outside of the game where they just dominated, where they didn't need him, put up over 150 yards. Put up over 100 yards, pretty much from week 6 to week 10. Absolute domination. He even has rushing as well and a rushing touchdown, so he can do it all. So I absolutely love CeeDee Lamb. And we might even be able to try at the end of this video, we'll try to build a Thursday night or Thursday Thanksgiving lineup on DraftKings for you. So those are the top 5 wide receivers. If you want to see all of them, as of now, we have 145 projected out there. So go check those out. Brings us to our tight ends. Tight ends are key. I think every single week, most experts or whatever you want to call them will have Travis Kelce as number one, and that's completely fine. But I absolutely love me some TJ Hawkinson. I'm repping Iowa right now. I love me some TJ Hawkinson as my number one tight end for week 12. So we look at this. I've got number one TJ Hawkinson. Number 2 is Travis Kelce. Number 3 is Trey McBride. 4 is Dalton Kincaid. And number 5 is George Kittle. And we're going to dig in just a little bit to see. So, looking at this, tight end wise, Kittle is obviously Thursday night football. We've got Jake Ferguson, which I do love. I do like him there. So, just looking at tight end here, we've got Hawkinson, who's 5,800. You look at the money you save. So if you do Kelce up here, 8,200, it's very hard to be able to build a confident lineup. Now, these rankings are good for PPR season long as well, but this channel's basic is made for DFS, so that's what I wanted to go over. So looking at Hawkinson, 7 targets against Denver, back and forth game, didn't do too much. Had 15 targets against New Orleans, had 12 against Atlanta, 9, 12, 8, 8, 3, which is not good, 11. Like, he's getting targeted a ton. His matchup here, they're giving up total yards 325. In the air, they're giving up 245.9 yards per game. Chicago's defense is. And then if you look at this, we see the rankings. Chicago is down here, number 13. They give up an average of 12.6 fantasy points per game, which ranks 20th out of 32. So, but that is more than the fantasy points he's averaging per game as well. So I absolutely love TJ Hawkinson. I think a lot of people are going to be on Kelce for like season long, obviously, but DFS purposes, Hawkinson, you're saving money here. Money is key, is what you're looking for. That's why I've got him number 1. Kelce, obviously number 2. Again, though, you are paying up so much that it almost can't be worth it. Like, he had 16.4 because he had a touchdown. But there have been games where he's not scoring touchdowns. The yards haven't really been there the past couple of games. I mean, against the Chargers, they have a very bad defense. We look at the Raiders' defense here against tight end. Right here. They're only giving up an average of 10.9 fantasy points. So, honestly, I don't know if I'll be having much Kelce just because of his price. Could he go off for 150 yards, 3 touchdowns? Yes, he can, because Kansas City doesn't have the best receiving core. Their hands are not good. We saw MVS just drop a pass. But yeah, so I do have Kelce number 2. Number 3 is Trey McBride, who's really come on strong recently. We got Dalton Kincaid number 4 and George Kittle number 5. So you can look at Trey McBride, 4,700, going up against the Rams. Game log wise, trying to see if he played him in week 6, had 5 targets. But again, like, that wasn't with Kyler. Since Kyler's come back, not so much Houston game, but had 7 targets there, had 9 against Atlanta, 5 against Baltimore, had 14 targets. He's putting up some points. 4,700, you're saving a lot of money. You're saving 3,500 over like putting with Kelce. Even with Hawkinson, you're saving 1,100 there. So I love me some Trey McBride against the Rams. Number 4, like I said, Dalton Kincaid. If you're going to go all out with a Buffalo stack, I'm okay with Kincaid. 5,300 there. Game logs, he's getting the targets. He's definitely getting the targets. Was targeted 7 times against the Jets. Secondary, 46 yards. 51 yards, but had a touchdown. 11 targets against Cincy. 7 targets against Tampa Bay with a touchdown. Averaging 10.6. And he's going up against Philly. Philly gives up, right here, an average of 13.3 fantasy points per game, which is 24 out of 32. And then that brings us to Thursday Night Football. We've got Kittle, 6,000, obviously number 1 here. Game logs, 3 straight games of pretty damn good games. We had 9 targets against Tampa Bay, 89 yards and a touchdown. Against Jacksonville, only 4 targets with 3 receptions, put up 116 yards, 1 touchdown, and 23.6 fantasy points on DraftKings. And then against Cincy in Week 8, 9 receptions on 11 targets, 149 yards, 26.9 fantasy points. Going up against Seattle, has not faced them this year. I love me some George Kittle on Thanksgiving. I love it. I'm going to have some exposure to him on Thanksgiving. So those are your top 5 tight ends as well. And then defenses, it really just depends. Dallas is number 1. They're on Thursday. Steelers number 2 against Cincy because it's a backup quarterback. 3 is San Francisco at Seattle because San Francisco's defense is pretty damn good. Cleveland against Denver. And then the Chiefs number 5 versus the Raiders. I really don't need to break down defense as much because when you're playing tournaments, it's basically kind of find a cheap defense that might have a good matchup, and then you can build around them with your offensive players. So those are all of the rankings that we have, top 5s. If you want to see the rest, click the links down below in the description of this video. We've got the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense ranking articles over on FantasyTeamAdvisor.com. You can also check out the fantasy points allowed by position, Vegas odds as well. So what I'm going to do is we can build real quick if you want. If you stick around, we can look at maybe building something for Thursday Night Football or Thursday Football, Thanksgiving slate. 3 games, that's what we've got. So if you just go through here and you just want to hide, well, just go through. We can hide. We'll just put November. Or no, we won't. We'll put, you know what? We can just hide it here. Everything else is hidden just for now. Obviously, I will be putting this back. Then we can go with the over-unders. We can see that the Cowboys Commanders has the highest over-under, 48.5. 47 is Lions at the Packers. 43 for Seattle. And then Friday is Dolphins Jets. So this slate is actually, well, this is just a Thursday slate. So this is just for Thanksgiving. We can build around it. So like I said, let's just get out of this real quick. So you've got Dak. He's going to be most expensive. He's probably going to be the highest owned. I think you could get a little bit creative and go Jordan Love at 5,500. You're saving money there. But let's do 2 different games or 2 different lineups. So let's go with a Dallas stack right now. So it's going to be very popular. I do believe that. But we've got Dallas there. I want to pair him up, obviously, with CeeDee Lamb. Then we get the tight ends. You can pair him up with Ferguson. He is getting targeted. I think he has the most amount of targets, or at least the most amount of red zone targets for a tight end right now. You can see down week against Carolina, but again, they didn't need to use him because of that. Again, though, they think it's going to be a blowout here. 11-point game, so that could play factor here. But if you don't want to go Ferguson, he is 3,900 though. If you don't want to go him, you want to go Laporta against Green Bay, I'm okay with that. He's getting a couple of down games, but he's been targeted a bunch. We've got, Musgrave is questionable. Logan Thomas on the flip side of that. His targets are there. His yards are there. The fantasy points aren't there. That's the problem. Kittle at night, if you want to look at Kittle, I think we could go with Kittle there. Defense-wise, I do think the Cowboys have the best matchup. Sam Howell puts the ball up a ton every single week. If we look at Sam Howell, we look at his game logs. 45 attempts, 44, 45, 52, 42. But that comes with turnovers. 3, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. Had 4 turnovers against Buffalo, 1 against Arizona. He has not faced the Cowboys this year. That the Cowboys are going to be very popular. If you want to go a different way with like the 49ers, you're saving $200. I get that. But Cowboys, their defense is just good, guys. So we look at that. It's kind of a start. Where are we going to go with the running back? Gibbs. McCaffrey has a fantastic matchup. If you go with Jordan Love, then you could get McCaffrey and feel confident. Let's just see if we can get in here and feel good. Let's go Gibbs. Then wide receivers averaging 3,000. That kind of gets down in the weeds here. It's going to be kind of hard to build around there. You got Tolbert had 5 targets there. That would be a cheap Dallas if you think, he's going to get something. You could go with that. Brings us still 3,000. You can't do much. You really can't unless you find those value picks here. So depending on where you're going to go with the running back situation, There's not a ton to go off of, but if you don't pay for McCaffrey and maybe you think both Detroit's running backs are going to do good, or with Green Bay, it's Dillon's hurt, Jones is probably out. That brings us down to, even Emmanuel Wilson left hurt. So, yeah, Merriweather, he might get called up. There's not, it's kind of iffy. So Dillon, yeah, if Dillon is in and he's playing, he's going to be the number one. I don't this week. I don't know if he's going to. That's the problem. Then we get to the wide receiver position, average about 4,700, which isn't much. If you want to go with like a Brandon Cooks for a think he's going to have a good game, and to fully go with the Dallas stack, you could go there instead of Tolbert. That's still 4,000, which you bring it down. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Not much, but he's 4,100, and then your flex 3,900 is not much. And you could go Ferguson with that Dallas, I guess. You could go with something like that. Not the best, but it is a lineup that you could use, possibly looking at that. But let's clear it out. Let's go a different route. So everyone and their mom's going to be on Prescott. People are going to be on Goff. I don't think they're going to be much on Howell. You could put Howell in there in the fact that he throws it up 45 times a game. He's throwing it up basically that much. He's going up against a very bad defense, or a very good defense, but he's still putting up 20 plus fantasy points, even though he's given up. He's giving those points up. So he would be an option. I think he'll go very under him. But Jordan Love might be one. Got a good matchup against Detroit. So let's just go with a Green Bay type stack here. So you got Green Bay. Then the problem comes to, is it Dobbs? Is it Watson, who's now questionable? Is it Reed, who had a back-to-back game? So I'll go Jaden Reed with Jordan Love. Tight end-wise, I don't want anything to do with that. Maybe it's just a short, small little one. I don't know. You could go Dobbs, who's had, okay, let's go Love, Reed, and Dobbs as your main stack. Defense-wise, Cowboys at 3,800. You got 49ers, 3,600, which isn't much. So let's go there. So you're still averaging 6,300. This is where it gets tricky. Could you have McCaffrey and Gibbs? Then you're still averaging 5,300. So tight end-wise, you could get Ferguson in there. You could get Logan Thomas, who people will be off of. You could get a Logan Thomas in there. And you're still averaging 6,200. So you get into wide receivers. If you did Lamb, who's the number one for us, that's 3,800 for a flex. Michael Gallup, game log wise, not bad if you don't want to pay up. Curtis Samuel, who was ejected he didn't do much against the Giants. Josh Reynolds, not doing too much with St. Brown back. That's my problem. If you go wide receiver, what's St. Brown price? He's 8,500. CeeDee Lamb's 8,700. Yeah, there's not much. I'd rather go Lamb. Obviously, you could go Metcalf against San Francisco, Ayuk against Seattle. You're saving money there. And that's 5,500. That changes a bunch. That's 5,500 there. Go McLaren, Sam Laporta, Jordan Mason. Probably wouldn't go with Mason. Yeah, he's not doing anything. He's in the game. He's just not, he's active. He's just not playing. Yeah, it just depends. I feel like we're for Thursday, for Thanksgiving, we're either going to see a ton of lineups have the same lineups and they split it, or someone's going to win because they played a Jordan Mason who hasn't done anything since week 6 against Cleveland. That would be a throwaway pick that might go off. You just never know. So depending on what you do, you go McLaren here, he's got Dallas is a good defense. We know this. But he's a good player as well. A.J. Dillon, if he is in against Detroit, 5,400, he could be in store. Sam Laporta, need a little bit more targets, but he could be in store here, flip side of that. So that's a lineup you could definitely see. Again, though, these are just GPP lineups. These are not cash lineups. And these are not necessarily the way to go, but these are just in the mindset of how I would build it if I were you. So that is it. If you have questions, let us know down below. I'll try to answer them. Luckily, I have all week to answer, or I have a couple of days to answer them. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button. If you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the bell notification. Go check out FantasyTeamAdvisor.com. Go check out all of our NBA content as well. So that's what I've got in this video. Good luck on this Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday football slate. Good luck in week 12. And don't forget, tell me who liked the video, be a subscriber, and tell me what quarterback is going to score the most amount of DraftKings fantasy points and how many fantasy points are they going to score for your chance to win a free week of DFS content brought to you by FantasyTeamAdvisor.com. That's what I've got. Good luck, and as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.